Hey, Mr. Dallas. The marketing team's asking what color the button should be on the new ads. The data shows that our customers are mostly millennials who are colorblind and love the color red.
Is that right? Son, I don't care what no millennial tree-hugging tech nerd has to say. Ain't no respectable brand had no red color button. Make it brown. That's a man's color right there. Boy, I'm from Texas. Everything worth anything's brown in Texas. My shoe's brown, my shirt's brown, my whiskey's brown. And in Texas, there's something called the HiPPO. You know what a HiPPO is, son? Highest paid person's opinion. Last time I checked, that person was me. Make it brown. And they'll like it. Now get, and put it up on the Amazon too. Yeah, right there. Oh.
Sound familiar? We've all been in that situation where someone irrationally gets their way with a brand because they have the most pull. Actually, both. Are you tired of it? Do you want to stop it? Well, the solution is the great opinion equalizer in e-commerce, and you'd be wise to implement it. Stay tuned. Hey guys, Kenneth Ott here, Chief Growth Rebel at Metacake. We're an e-commerce growth team and we help the most influential brands in the world explode their revenue online. And today we're starting a series on CRO, aka CRO, conversion rate optimization. This one thing is the revenue multiplier for your business and the jet fuel for all of your marketing activities. We not only use it daily to generate massive return for our clients, but we've also written a book on the topic, which we lovingly illustrated in Dr. Seuss fashion. And it's linked at the end of this video. Here are 3 questions you can ask yourself to determine if CRO is right for you. Number 1, do you have an action that you want someone to take on your website? Now, of course, we all have an action that we want visitors to take. Obviously, if you have a product that you know people need in their lives, your job is to get them to buy it. But most brands stop there. Think of actions as phases of a relationship. The first time you meet someone, you're not going to ask them to marry you because they'll probably say no. And that's weird. In the same way, when a visitor first comes to our site, if all we do is beg them to hit that buy button, the answer will likely be no. We need to think about all of the actions that come before it. Things like signing up for a newsletter, sharing content, watching a video. All of these things build a relationship, and all of these things can be optimized so that the customer faces no obstacles on the path to completing each one of those tasks. It's a lot of syllables. Number 2, do you know your conversion rate? Now let's be honest. If you don't know this, you're either not in business or soon to be out of business. Seriously. The point is, this is a metric that all e-commerce brands should know and do know. In order to know how effective your website is, you need to know this number, be watching it daily, and be optimizing it. Number 3, is your conversion rate 100%? Hint, the answer is probably no. And if it is 100%, well then I'd love to buy your company. Or the only people coming to your website are probably your parents. Unless you're converting at 100%, then there's still work to be done and goodness to be gotten and had. Whatever. The truth is, most organizations operate off of the HiPPO rule. The highest paid person's opinion is what we act on. Well, it turns out those cute little hippos are actually the most deadly animals on the planet.
Are they really?
Yeah, just Google it. They freaking eat crocodiles.
But they're so cute. And what about that game?
Well, that game has apparently highly aggressive and extremely unpredictable animals. Kind of like your boss. Starting to see the hippo connection now? Well, this may be quick. It's a dangerous path to be on. And remember, quick isn't always right. But if you know how to listen to the customer, they will actually tell you what they want in real time. It's called data. But unless you know how to read it, it's kind of like reading Greek. Unless you are Greek, of course. Or trying to understand someone from Alabama. So we've offended everyone from Texas and Alabama, is that right? Carry on. The point is taking ego and clout out of the equation completely and putting the control back into your customer's hands is ultimately where the success lies. P.S. Notice that none of these steps have anything to do with job titles or hippos. No hippos were harmed in the filming of this episode. Texans and Alabamans were offended. Number 1, set a baseline. Before making any changes, we need to know exactly where we are at today. This means making sure all tracking is accurate, from ads to actions on your website. Everything should be flowing correctly into the right platforms, like Google Analytics. Number 2, identify holes in your funnel. Once you have everything tracking accurately and you've established a baseline, you need to understand the steps in your conversion funnel. By the way, if you don't have a conversion funnel, there's more for you at Metacake.com. At this point, we can begin to identify steps in our funnel that can be improved. Number 3, create a hypothesis. Now that we have an area of our funnel that we know can be improved, we need to come up with ideas on how to improve it. This is where you get creative and opinions actually come into play, but leave ego at the door. Also, be sure to use data and things like surveys to help lead you down the correct path. Remember, keep your ideas simple to execute. You can always improve on them later. The goal here is to be quick in testing and fail fast. Number 4, test your ideas. This is where the technical side comes in. At this point, you need to have a testing tool that will allow you to implement the ideas you have live on your e-commerce store and measure the effectiveness of them. The right tool will handle all of the science for you. It will test different ideas or experiences side by side. Number 5, measure and repeat. Once you have a result for an experiment, it doesn't stop there. Maybe the result wasn't what you expected. Maybe things improved, or maybe they got worse. The key is to understand the reason behind the result, whether good or bad. Once you achieve a result that is positive, you make that new experience your baseline. And then you start back at 1. We're exploring the parts of your e-commerce website that you should look at first for low-hanging fruit opportunities if you're not sure exactly where to start. You see, for a lot of people, they go right to the homepage and start testing. We need to look at the data to show us where the biggest leaks in our funnel are. Now, for every business, that will be different. But having done this a ton for some of the highest traffic brands in the world, there are a few typical places where you'll find those leaks in your funnel, other than the homepage. Think about it this way. As long as you have enough traffic, the best place to start is towards the bottom of your conversion funnel. This will have the greatest impact on your bottom line. We're going to walk through 5 key areas that could have the strongest impact on your sales. Number 1, marketing landing pages. These are pages tailored around specific marketing initiatives or campaigns. If you're running Facebook ads, for example, you want to be sending people to a tailored landing page, personalized with the context of the campaign and the specific action you want that user to take. Now, if you're not using landing pages and just sending everyone to your homepage, you're a freaking idiot. Stop doing that. That's what landing pages are for. Your landing page must strike a balance between being informative but concise and enticing but not too pushy. So, what elements from your landing page could you test? You could test headlines, images versus copy, a hero video versus a hero image, copy size, call to action placements, maybe the amount of copy that you put on a page, maybe the pushiness of your message. You've got a lot of options here. Number 2, sign up forms. Email capture, as well as other lead generating forms, are key to scaling a great e-commerce brand. Many people are solely focused on just getting the purchase, but getting there requires building a relationship, and email is a great place to start. This one is pretty self-explanatory. Here, we want a user to get on an email list as a way to start engaging with us. The goal is to build a long, reciprocal relationship. Some of the elements you should consider testing are the offer. Is it free shipping, a discount from new customers, or just amazing content? Headlines, their length and their tone. Number of form fields, things like full name versus just the first name. Email, because we obviously need that. Maybe interests, because we want to know something about our user in order to build that relationship with them. Making fields optional versus required. The text on the call to action button. Does submit or sign up or get in touch change the conversion rate? If it's a pop-up, is it triggered by time on page, scroll length, exit intent? The goal here is not to annoy the user, but we want to get in front of them effectively. Number 3, product pages. Your product pages are really the pivotal point in your funnel. They are the battleground of debate in the mind of your customer. These pages should give your customers as much information as possible without overwhelming them, and quick and easy access to adding the right version of your products to their cart. Design your product page so that every element guides them towards making a purchase. Pare it down as much as possible without being too sparse. What are some elements that we should test on this page? Product images, image placement, their size, how many, clean images versus lifestyle images. Product description, the amount of copy and size of the text. Maybe you should include a video in the description. Review placement, should reviews be the first thing your customers see? Probably. Or are they further down the page? Calls to action. Button size and placement. Do we have multiple buttons throughout the page? Is it ever present so users always have quick access no matter where they are on your page? Related products. Are they distractions or are they sales generators? Branded content. Are things like blog links distracting or actually informative? All these things should work together to help your customers make a quick decision. Number 4, the shopping cart. Your shopping cart page is likely the second most important page on your store. This is where users make the final decision on their purchase. They rethink the value of their potential purchase and also look to understand if there are any additional fees. It's when that total purchase amount slaps them in the face. So here are some things you should test. Test related products versus none at all. Simple versus full site navigation. Showing a coupon field versus showing it later in the checkout. Doing special upsells and bulk discount pricing. Having notifications for hitting certain tiers which unlock things like free shipping or other benefits. There are so many options for this step, but great care should be taken here. You mess this page up and your sales will tank. Take the time to gather information accurately and test. Number 5, the checkout. The e-commerce checkout. The dreaded process you have to go through as any customer making a purchase online. It's a miracle that anyone makes any purchases at all. While there have been huge improvements to how people enter the needed information in this step, it's still painful. Making someone tap entry their shipping, billing, contact, and payment information with their right thumb is just short of torture. And if they get through this process, they clearly wanted your product, so congratulations. As we know, once your customer gets to this stage, we want to help them through it with as little friction and pain as possible. Platform limitations aside, here are some areas of high friction you should consider testing. Single versus multiple page checkout process. Oh, the great debate on this one. Which one is right for you? Store navigation versus no navigation at all, including design elements on the checkout page versus very simple and clean design. Do we require an account or do we allow guest checkout? Credit card entry. How can we make this as simple as possible? Coupon code placement and visibility. Do we want coupons to be obvious or more subtle? So those are our top 5 areas of an e-commerce store to consider testing if you simply don't know where to start. A great landing page is kind of like mind control. Must click now. Must click now. Okay, that's too much. Where was I? Stay tuned for the 6 factors of a high converting landing page. Number 1, audience. In today's clickbait crazed culture, you might think that a sensational headline is the most important element of any landing page. Wrong. See, if you don't specifically define with great detail who you are writing for, advertising for, and creating your product for, then you have 0 chance of succeeding. Number 2, headlines. The job of a headline is a massive one. They have to intrigue the person that you've just so rudely interrupted, then communicate just enough about what it is you're selling, and tell this person why they should continue reading after you've broken their focus. All in 5 seconds. Get out of my face. Headline? Oh, and they can't be too long.
How the do I write these things?
That's why you need CRO. With a good optimization program, you can write all the headlines you want, and the best ones will magically bubble to the top. Number 3, copy. No, not copy your competitor's page or copyright infringement. Copy as in all of the other written words on your page. page. Your page copy should do 3 things: satisfy the logical part of the brain with facts and figures, create a reaction in the emotional side of the brain with story, excitement, and connection. Did we just have a moment there? Lastly, after all that, build trust. The bottom line is, if your landing page reads like the phone book, you're gonna fail.
What's a phone book?
Seriously? Number 4, images and videos. Now look, we've all heard the cliche, a picture's worth 1,000 words, right? Well, it's true, and no one wants to read 1,000 words about your product. Sorry. Remember, quality matters. No video is better than the boring one of you explaining how the annular centrifugal contactor uses rotation of the rotor inside a centrifuge to mix 2 immiscible liquids. Number 5, CTA'S. For anyone who doesn't know, which is hopefully none of you, CTA stands for call to action. And this element is crazy important. This is where you ask your visitors to buy your product, sign up for your newsletter, schedule a call, or whatever else. You should test many different types of action-oriented CTAs, from the button you use, to the copy around it, to the copy within it. You should also test its placement. It should easily transition someone from your page content to the point of taking action now. Number 6, design. Great design is responsible for making you feel a certain way. Test adding and removing elements, changing subtle features like colors until you find the most seamless, highest converting user experience. Remember, with design, we want to be clean, uncluttered, and most importantly, centered around one single goal, the conversion. That's right. This isn't the time to let your daughter flex her art skills. We're going to give you 3 steps to take in order to get started optimizing your e-commerce funnel today. Number 1, find your biggest gaps. We discussed your leaky funnel earlier in this series, but the most important first step is understanding the different paths that lead to a purchase, and then identifying one of the many critical leaks in that path. That leak will be the thing you work on first. This may sound simple, and it can be if you have good data. If you're not sure where to start, here are 3 places to look first. Number 1, the top landing pages with high bounce rates. Number 2, the fallout points in your conversion funnel. And number 3, the most valuable pages on your site. These could be things like landing pages, product pages, or your homepage. Plug these holes before your leaky conversion funnel sinks the whole ship. Number 2, establish a program. There are a few steps that you can take to get started on implementing it right now. Step 1, go back and rewatch our videos on CRO, links in the description. Step 2, go grab a copy of our guide to CRO at metacake.com/CRO, which will give you even more information than we've discussed in our videos and help you with a framework for getting started. Step 3, get buy-in from your leadership on starting a CRO program in your business. If that leader is you, ask yourself this: would I like to see more success out of the same activities we do today? The answer should be yes. If the answer is no, follow up with this question: am I crazy? Number 3, build a team. You may be watching this thinking, I work in a giant corporation. How in the world am I going to get the resources budgeted to start this thing? Well, start small. You're already spending money on marketing, so putting a small amount of resources into key parts of your funnel can mean massive returns. Use those results to establish a long-term program. You can hire resources in-house, or you can talk to specialists like ourselves to see if we might be a good fit. However you do it, make sure you have people with experience guiding your efforts, and you will begin to see amazing returns. One vital thing to remember about CRO: 2 or more heads are better than 1 when it comes to an optimization strategy. Successful CRO isn't just about testing button colors. Please stop doing that. It goes deep on user habits and experience. The best CRO teams leave their personal opinions at the door and ultimately humble themselves in the face of customer data. Ready to take action implementing CRO? Head over to metacake.com/CRO and grab your copy of our guide to conversion rate optimization. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with anyone who would find it useful. Thanks, and never stop growing. We discussed your leaky funnel earlier in this series, but the most important first step is understanding the different paths that lead to a purchase and then identifying one of the many critical paths in the leak. So stupid.